Every day begins with a choice: to rise with purpose or to roll over and let another opportunity slip away. The early morning hours are the most honest hours of your life. The world is quiet, distractions are asleep, and you are left alone with your thoughts, your dreams, and your discipline. Those who learn to master these hours often end up mastering their destiny. You see, success doesn't start at the office or in a meeting or when you open your laptop. It starts the moment you decide to beat the sun. That's where character is built. That's where winners are made. The difference between ordinary people and extraordinary achievers isn't found in their talent. It's found in their timing. While most wait for motivation, the few who rise early create it. Waking up early isn't about the clock. It's about control. It's a declaration that you, not the world, set the tone for your day. When you begin your mornings with clarity, energy, and intention, you don't just get ahead, you stay ahead. Stay with me for the next few minutes as I show you how to wake up early, build unstoppable momentum, and win the day before it even begins. Let's dive in. Number 1, stop negotiating with the alarm clock. Every morning, before your feet even touch the ground, you face your first test of the day, the alarm clock. That moment of decision defines everything that follows. Will you rise and claim control, or will you roll over and surrender to comfort? It's not just about getting out of bed. It's about what that act represents: discipline, responsibility, and respect for your own word. Every time you hit the snooze button, you're not just delaying the alarm. You're delaying your life. You're teaching your mind that your feelings are more important than your future. And the truth is, the world doesn't reward people who negotiate with excuses. It rewards those who act, even when they don't feel like it. When you stop negotiating with the alarm clock, you send a message to yourself: I'm in charge. You tell your mind that your goals, your purpose, and your potential matter more than a few extra minutes of sleep. That simple act of rising when you said you would, no matter how small it seems, builds the foundation for every other victory in your day. Because if you can't keep that first promise, what makes you think you'll keep the bigger ones? The most successful people in history understood this simple truth. Mornings belong to the disciplined. When others hit snooze, they hit start. They knew that the first few minutes after waking was sacred, the launch pad of their momentum. They didn't give those minutes away to weakness or hesitation. They acted. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to make a decision once and for all. That your alarm is not an invitation to debate. It's an order to rise. If you treat it that way, something powerful happens. The moment you stop arguing with your alarm, you start winning arguments with your excuses. And when that becomes your habit, discipline begins to flow into every other part of your life. So tomorrow morning, when that alarm rings, don't think, don't reason, don't negotiate. Get up, stand tall. You might not feel ready, but action creates readiness. Movement builds motivation. Confidence doesn't come before effort. It comes because of it. Remember, the battle of the bed is the first victory of the day. Win that one and you start a chain reaction of success. Lose it and you'll spend the rest of the day trying to catch up. So, make a promise to yourself. No more snooze, no more second going, no more 5 more minutes. The moment you wake up, move. Because that's what leaders do. They act while others wait. They rise while others dream. The alarm clock is not your enemy. It's your reminder that your time is limited, your purpose is calling, and your future is waiting. Answer it without hesitation. That's how you win the morning and the day. Number 2, build a strong why behind waking up early. Discipline fades without direction. You can force yourself out of bed for a few days with sheer willpower, but if you don't have a strong reason behind it, you'll always fall back into comfort. The truth is, you don't need a louder alarm clock. You need a deeper purpose. Because when your why is strong enough, the excuses lose their power. Ask yourself, why do I want to wake up early? Not just because it sounds good, not because others are doing it, but because it means something to you. Maybe it's to have time to work on your dream before the world wakes up. Maybe it's to strengthen your body, your mind, or your spirit. Maybe it's to gain the peace that comes with silence. That sacred hour where your thoughts are clear and your focus is sharp. Whatever it is, define it clearly. When your purpose is clear, the struggle becomes smaller. Think about it. If I told you that waking up at 5 a.m. would guarantee you the life you've always wanted, would you still hit snooze? Of course not. The problem is that most people don't connect their mornings to their destiny. They see waking up early as a chore, not as a bridge to freedom. Every great achievement begins with a reason. Athletes wake up before sunrise, not because it's easy, but because winning means more to them than comfort. Entrepreneurs rise early not because they love mornings, but because their vision burns brighter than their desire to sleep. Soldiers wake before dawn because their mission demands it. The stronger your reason, the lighter the sacrifice feels. Your why is your internal engine. When motivation runs out, and it always will, that engine keeps you moving. It's the quiet voice that says, "Get up. You promised yourself more than this." And when you listen to that voice, you rise not out of obligation, but out of conviction. So how do you build that why? Start by being honest with yourself. What do you truly want from life? Not what others expect of you, not what sounds nice, but what sets your soul on fire. Write it down. Visualize it. Let it become so real in your mind that staying in bed feels like betraying your future. Remember, waking up early isn't the goal. It's the gateway. It's the door that leads to your highest potential. When you tie that action to your dreams, it transforms from something you have to do into something you get to do. You'll stop saying, "I'm not a morning person," and start saying, "I'm a purpose-driven person." Every time you wake up early, remind yourself, "This is who I am. I rise before the world because my goals matter. I'm not chasing comfort, I'm building character." That mindset changes everything. You don't need more motivation, you need meaning. Find your why and it will pull you out of bed with energy and certainty. Because the truth is, people with purpose don't need alarms. Their dreams wake them up. Number 3, sleep like a champion. Wake 1. You can't wake up like a winner if you go to bed like a wanderer. The foundation of rising early begins the night before. Most people try to fix their mornings without realizing that their nights are the real problem. You can't stay up scrolling, snacking, and stressing until midnight, then expect to wake up clear, focused, and full of energy. Success starts with structure, and that structure must include your sleep. Discipline doesn't just live in the gym or at your desk, it lives in your bedtime. The person who respects the night owns the morning. Think about it. Your body isn't a machine that can run endlessly on caffeine and willpower. It's a system designed to recover, rebuild, and recharge. If you treat it well, it will perform like a high-powered engine. If you neglect it, it will sputter and stall when you need it most. So start by setting a clear boundary for your nights. Choose a time when the day ends, not when your eyes give up, but when your discipline says enough. That's your shutdown point. From that moment, your focus should shift from doing to resting. Lower the lights, quiet the noise, and let your mind detach from the chaos of the day. Most people sabotage their mornings with screens. They go to bed with their phone in hand, scrolling through highlights of other people's lives, feeding their brain chaos instead of calm. No wonder they wake up tired and anxious. The last thing you see and think about before you sleep becomes the first thing that greets your mind in the morning. Protect that space. Replace the noise with something nourishing. Read a few pages of a good book. Reflect on what went well today and visualize what tomorrow will look like. And let's talk about your environment. A cluttered room creates a cluttered mind. Keep your space simple, dark, and cool. Invest in your rest the same way you invest in your goals. That bed isn't a place for distractions. It's your recovery zone, your recharge station for greatness. Consistency is the real secret. Go to bed at the same time, wake up at the same time. The body loves rhythm. Once it learns your schedule, it rewards you with energy on command. Waking up early becomes natural, not painful. You won't fight the alarm clock anymore because your body will already be ready to rise. And don't forget, good sleep is not laziness, it's preparation. It's part of the work. Champions don't burn themselves out. They recharge strategically. They know that real power comes from being well rested, not constantly exhausted. So tonight, when the world wants to pull you into endless noise, step away. Tell yourself, I'm preparing for tomorrow's victory. Because the truth is, if you master your nights, your mornings will take care of themselves. Sleep like a champion and you'll wake up like one, clear, strong, and ready to win the day. Number 4. Turn mornings into your secret advantage. The world gives everyone the same 24 hours, but how you use the quiet hours determines how far ahead you'll go. The early morning is not just a time, it's an opportunity most people waste. While the rest of the world is asleep, the few who rise early step into a different dimension of focus, peace, and clarity. That's where true advantage is born. Think about it. Mornings are untouched. No emails flooding in, no phone calls, no noise from the world trying to control your attention. It's the only time of the day that truly belongs to you. When you use it wisely, you move into the day with power and direction, not pressure and reaction. The average person wakes up late, rushes through breakfast, checks notifications, and spends the rest of the day trying to catch up. But those who master their morning start their day already ahead. The early hours are when your mind is sharpest and your willpower is strongest. That's when ideas flow freely, goals feel clearer, and decisions come from strength, not stress. If you've ever wondered how top performers seem to get so much done, here's the secret. They don't find extra time. They create it. They claim the hours most people throw away. Use your mornings for creation, not consumption. Don't fill them with mindless scrolling or endless distractions. Use that time to build your body, your mindset, your vision. Read, write, exercise, plan your day, work on your dreams before the world starts pulling at you. When you accomplish meaningful things early, you carry that momentum everywhere you go. You walk differently, you think sharper, you feel unstoppable. Momentum is a powerful thing. One productive morning sets the tone for an entire week. 1 week of early victories sets the direction for your entire month. Before you know it, your mornings have transformed into your greatest weapon, the part of your life where you're in full control. But remember, the key is consistency. Anyone can wake up early once or twice, but the person who makes it a habit becomes unstoppable. Don't wait for perfect conditions. The house won't always be quiet. The weather won't always be pleasant. You won't always feel motivated. But if you build the discipline to rise and act anyway, you'll separate yourself from 90% of the world. The morning isn't just about getting up early. It's about getting ahead. You're not competing with others. You're competing with your old self. The one who slept through opportunities. Every sunrise gives you a chance to be reborn, to rewrite your story, to move one step closer to the life you want. So stop treating mornings as something you have to get through. Start treating them as something you get to own. When you rise early, you claim peace before chaos, clarity before noise, victory before the battle even begins. Make mornings your secret advantage and watch how quietly, steadily your life begins to change. Number 5. Create a morning identity you're proud of. The way you see yourself determines the way you show up every morning. Most people fail to wake up early, not because they can't, but because deep down, they don't see themselves as the kind of person who does. They've accepted a label. I'm not a morning person. And the moment you say that, your mind makes it true. You start living according to that identity instead of challenging it. If you want to wake up early consistently, you need to change the story you tell yourself. You have to build a new identity, one that aligns with the person you want to become, not the one you've been settling for. It's not about forcing yourself to get up. It's about becoming someone who naturally does because it's who you are now. Think about it this way. When you truly see yourself as a professional, you don't need reminders to show up on time. When you see yourself as a healthy person, you don't need motivation to eat right. It's automatic. The same rule applies to mornings. When you start saying, I'm the kind of person who wakes up early and takes control of my day, your behavior begins to match that belief. Identity always leads action. This isn't about pretending, it's about deciding. You don't wait until you feel ready to act. You act until you feel aligned with your new self. Each morning you rise early, you cast a vote for the person you want to be. Each time you keep your promise to yourself, you reinforce that identity. Slowly it becomes natural, not forced, not temporary, but a part of who you are. Stop identifying with weakness. Stop saying you're not disciplined, not consistent, or not a morning person. Those are just stories built on past behavior, not permanent truth. Every great transformation begins the day you stop introducing yourself as the old version of you. You can rewrite that story anytime you choose to create a morning identity you're proud of. Attach pride to the act of rising early. Don't just think of it as something you do. Think of it as something that defines you. Every morning you wake up before the noise. You're proving to yourself that you're different. You're proving that you value growth over comfort, purpose over pleasure, and consistency over chaos. That's not small, that's powerful. Over time, this identity becomes your armor. You'll start to notice something amazing. You no longer have to fight to get up. It feels wrong not to. You start craving that quiet, productive hour. You start looking forward to it because it represents progress, power, and self-respect. Remember, this behavior shapes belief, and belief sustains behavior. The more you rise early, the more you see yourself as someone capable, disciplined, and focused. And that self-image spills into everything. How you work, how you speak, how you lead. So decide today who you really are. You are not lazy. You are not inconsistent. You are a person who honors commitments, who wakes up with purpose, and who leads their life with intention. Create that identity and watch every morning become a mirror of your greatness. Number 6, design a morning routine that pulls you out of bed. The reason most people can't stay consistent with waking up early is simple. Their mornings have no meaning. They wake up only to rush, scroll, or react. There's nothing waiting for them that excites them, nothing that pulls them forward. And when there's no purpose behind your morning, the bed will always win. You can't depend on willpower alone, it's too fragile. What you need is a routine that gives you direction, energy, and momentum the moment you wake up. A system that makes your mornings feel like a launch pad, not a struggle. Because when your morning has structure, your life gains power. So start by designing your morning around your priorities, not your problems. Don't wake up and dive straight into the noise of the world, the news, social media, messages. That's like handing your peace away before you've even had a chance to protect it. Instead, start with yourself. The first part of your day should be about you, your mind, your body, your spirit. Move your body. It doesn't have to be an intense workout. Even 10 minutes of stretching, walking, or deep breathing can spark energy and confidence. That physical motion signals to your brain, we're awake, we're active, we're ready. Then feed your mind. Read something inspiring. Listen to something that elevates your thoughts. Or write down your goals in gratitude. What you consume in the first hour of your day sets the tone for everything that follows. Next, plan your day with intention. Don't leave it to chance. Take 5 minutes to look at what matters most, your key priorities, not your endless to-do list. Clarity gives you power. When you know exactly what deserves your time and what doesn't, you stop living in reaction and start living by design. The secret is to make your routine something you look forward to. Create rituals that make you feel alive. A quiet cup of coffee while journaling. A morning walk while the world sleeps. Music that lifts your spirit. Sunlight on your face as you think about your goals. These little things build emotional momentum. They make mornings meaningful, but keep it simple. Don't overload your routine with 100 tasks. The goal isn't to fill your morning with activities. It's to fill it with purpose. A powerful routine isn't about perfection. It's about rhythm. The rhythm of movement, reflection, and preparation. And remember, your morning is your foundation. If you build it strong, the rest of your day stands tall. If you rush it, everything else becomes unstable. A calm, structured morning makes you calmer and sharper all day long. So design your mornings carefully. Make them sacred, make them yours. Build a routine that excites you so much that you can't wait to get up and start. Because when your morning routine pulls you out of bed, instead of you pushing yourself out, you stop fighting with discipline and start flowing with purpose. That's when early mornings stop being a struggle and start becoming your secret weapon. Number 7. Master the first 10 minutes after waking up. The first 10 minutes after you wake up decide what kind of day you're going to have. They may look small, but they set the rhythm, the tone, and the energy for everything that follows. Most people lose that moment before they even realize it. They reach for their phone, scroll through someone else's life, and flood their mind with noise before they've even spoken a word to themselves. Those 10 minutes are sacred, and the way you handle them determines whether you lead the day or the day leads you. When you open your eyes in the morning, your mind is pure. It's like fresh soil ready for seeds. Whatever you plant in those first moments, gratitude, focus, calm, or chaos, will grow throughout the day. So, be careful what you allow in. The world will always try to steal your attention. But in those first 10 minutes, your attention belongs only to you. Don't start your day reacting. Start at creating. Sit up, take a deep breath, and remind yourself that you've been given another chance to live, to grow, to improve. That simple act of awareness centers your mind. Next move. Get out of bed immediately. Stretch, hydrate, walk, or do a few push-ups. Movement is a message to your brain that says, we're awake, we're alive, let's go. It sparks energy and prevents you from slipping back into comfort. Once your body is active, direct your thoughts. Take a minute to speak or write a clear intention for the day. Something like, today, I'll stay calm under pressure. Or today I'll make progress on what matters. When you give your mind a target, it begins to work toward it automatically. If you don't, the world will give you one, and it usually won't be in your favor. Avoid checking your phone or emails for at least 10 to 15 minutes after waking. That's not discipline, that's protection. You're protecting your focus, your peace, and your clarity from being hijacked by the outside world. The moment you check your phone, you hand over control to someone else's priorities. Let your thoughts come first. The world can wait. You can even add a short moment of gratitude. Think about 3 things you're thankful for. They don't have to be big, just real. Gratitude shifts your mind from what's missing to what's possible. It creates strength, calm, and optimism. Starting your day in gratitude gives you emotional armor against negativity later on. These 10 minutes might sound simple, but they carry massive power. They're the difference between a day that feels rushed and one that feels purposeful. Between reacting all day and leading with calm energy. Between feeling scattered and feeling centered. So tomorrow when the alarm rings, remember this. What you do next writes the story of your entire day. Don't waste those golden minutes on distractions. Guard them, use them, and let them fuel you. If you can master the first 10 minutes after waking up, you'll find that the rest of the day begins to fall beautifully into place. Number 8. Protect your mornings from noise and distraction. Your morning is your foundation, and what you allow into it determines the strength of everything built on top of it. If you let noise, gossip, and digital chaos flood your mind the moment you wake up, don't be surprised when your day feels scattered, stressful, and unfocused. You can't expect peace from a mind that starts in panic. The truth is simple. Your mornings are too valuable to be wasted on distraction. Most people don't lose control of their day at noon. They lose it before breakfast. They wake up, grab their phones, check notifications, scroll through social media, and immediately start comparing their lives to others. Within minutes, their emotions are hijacked. Their focus is gone before they've even had a chance to think for themselves. And then they wonder why the rest of the day feels like a blur. If you want to win the day, you must protect the start of it. Treat your morning like sacred time. Time that belongs to your growth, your clarity, your mindset. The world doesn't need your attention at sunrise. You need your attention. You need space to think, to plan, to breathe, to prepare. You can't fill your mind with everyone else's noise and still expect to hear your own voice. Start by creating boundaries. Decide that the first hour after you wake up is off limits to the outside world. No phone, no emails, no news, no drama. If it's not adding peace or progress, it doesn't belong in your morning. Replace noise with intention. Use that time to do things that build you. Read something uplifting, write down your goals, move your body, or simply sit in silence and think. Let your mind settle before the world starts pulling you in 100 directions. Distraction isn't just a digital problem, it's also a mental one. Sometimes the loudest noise comes from inside. Thoughts of yesterday's mistakes, worries about tomorrow, or doubts about yourself can rob you of focus. That's why it's crucial to create morning rituals that ground your thoughts. Meditation, deep breathing, journaling, prayer. Whatever helps you calm the mental noise. Practice it daily. It's not about being perfect, it's about being present. You have to treat your focus like a resource because it is one. Every distraction costs you energy, creativity, and time. And every time you give your attention away freely, you weaken your ability to use it where it truly matters. Protecting your mornings is how you recharge your mental battery before the world starts draining it. Remember, success doesn't come from doing more. It comes from focusing better. And focus begins with silence. When you remove noise, you create space. Space to think clearly, to plan deeply, and to act powerfully. That's how leaders operate. They don't let the world dictate their mornings. They set the tone themselves. So, tomorrow morning, before you reach for your phone, reach for control. Guard your peace like it's gold because it is. Your mornings are not meant to be consumed by noise. They're meant to be created by purpose. Protect them, and you'll discover a quiet kind of power that carries you confidently through the rest of the day. Number 9. Stack small wins to build momentum. Success doesn't come from doing one big thing, right? It comes from doing many small things consistently. The same rule applies to your mornings. You don't need to change your whole life before sunrise. You just need to stack a few small wins one after another until momentum takes over. Because momentum is the hidden force behind all achievement. Once it starts rolling, it becomes unstoppable. The problem for most people is that they wake up and chase perfection instead of progress. They expect to feel fully motivated, perfectly energized, and ready to conquer the world. But life doesn't work like that. You don't begin the day at your peak, you build toward it. And the easiest way to build momentum is by stacking simple victories from the moment you wake up, make your bed, drink a glass of water, stretch for a few minutes. These may sound small, almost trivial, but they're not. Each one is a message to your brain that says, I'm already winning. When you start your day with success, no matter how small, you begin to believe in your ability to keep succeeding. You create motion, and motion breeds motivation. Every small win you stack builds confidence, focus, and self-respect. When you do something you said you would do, your mind begins to trust you. That trust becomes power. The opposite is also true. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you weaken that trust. You start to doubt your own word. That's why small wins matter so much. They rebuild your inner credibility brick by brick. You don't have to overhaul your life in one morning. Just start with what you can control right now. When you wake up and make your bed, you create order. When you hydrate, you energize your body. When you take a few minutes to write your goals, you direct your focus. When you get moving, you shake off laziness and activate discipline. Each of these actions might take less than 5 minutes, but together they set a tone of achievement. The best part is small wins compound. Just like money in a bank account, each one adds up over time. A week of early wins builds stronger habits. A month of consistent mornings creates an unstoppable routine. A year of momentum builds a life that most people only dream about. Momentum doesn't just happen, it's built intentionally. The greatest performers in any field understand this. They don't wait for inspiration. They start small, stay consistent, and let the rhythm of discipline carry them forward. Once you've built momentum, it becomes harder to stop than to continue. That's the power you want to wake up and feel pulled forward by your progress instead of pushed by pressure. So, stop waiting for motivation. Create it. Build it through small actions done well. Celebrate those wins. Let them remind you that greatness isn't born from massive leaps. It's built through steady steps. The moment you begin to stack small wins, your mornings stop being a battle and start becoming a victory march. Because the truth is, success doesn't show up in one big moment. It's created in the hundreds of small ones you conquer every single morning. Number 10. Train your mind to love discipline. Most people treat discipline like punishment, something they have to suffer through just to get results. But that's the wrong way to look at it. Discipline isn't a burden, it's a blessing. It's not something that restricts your life. It's what gives you freedom. When you train your mind to love discipline, you stop fighting yourself and start flowing toward your goals. The truth is, every successful person you admire has one thing in common. They learned to do what needed to be done. Whether they felt like it or not, they built their lives on consistency, not comfort. And the beautiful part is that ability isn't something you're born with, it's something you train. You don't need motivation every day if you have discipline, because discipline becomes your motivation. When you first start waking up early, your mind will resist. It will whisper all kinds of excuses. You need more sleep, it's too cold, 5 more minutes won't hurt. That voice never completely goes away, but you get stronger than it. You learn to act despite the noise. Every time you rise when it's uncomfortable, you're not just training your body, you're rewiring your mind. You're teaching it that obedience to purpose is stronger than surrender to feelings. Discipline is a muscle, and like any muscle, it grows through use. The more you practice it, the stronger it becomes. The less you practice it, the weaker it gets. So each morning is a training session for your mind. Every time you wake up on time, every time you stick to your plan, every time you say no to comfort and yes to purpose, you're strengthening that muscle. And over time, it stops being hard. It becomes who you are. The shift happens when you stop seeing discipline as the enemy of happiness and start seeing it as the path to it. The undisciplined life might feel easy in the moment, but it's filled with regret later. The disciplined life might feel tough now, but it brings pride, progress, and peace. You choose your pain, the pain of discipline or the pain of disappointment. One builds you, the other breaks you. You have to fall in love with the feeling of showing up. Not because it's easy, but because it means you're growing. It's the quiet satisfaction of knowing you did what you said you'd do, even when no one was watching. That's real confidence. That's self-respect. And here's the truth most people miss. Discipline doesn't kill your freedom, it creates it. The person who's disciplined with their time, health, and habits lives with more control, more options, more peace. The person who isn't lives on the edge of chaos. Freedom doesn't come from doing whatever you want. It comes from mastering what matters most. So train your mind to crave discipline. See it as your greatest ally, not your enemy. Because once you love discipline, everything changes. You stop chasing motivation. You stop relying on luck. You start waking up with purpose and power. And that's when life stops happening to you and starts happening for you. Number 11. Use morning reflection to direct your life. The most powerful people don't just wake up early, they wake up with direction. They don't rush into their day blindly hoping things will go right. They take a few quiet moments to make sure they lead the day instead of being led by it. That's where morning reflection comes in. It's not about sitting cross-legged for an hour or reading pages of philosophy. It's simply about creating space to think, to ask yourself where you are, where you're going, and who you're becoming. Every morning gives you a chance to reset your thoughts before the world fills your head with noise. Reflection turns those early hours into a compass, guiding your energy, your emotions, and your decisions. Without reflection, even the most productive day can feel empty. You might move fast, but you won't know if you're moving in the right direction. Take 5 to 10 minutes each morning to sit quietly with your thoughts. Ask yourself simple but powerful questions. What matters most today? What can I do to make progress? What did I learn from yesterday? This is not about guilt or overthinking. It's about awareness. Awareness is power. You can't improve what you don't understand, and you can't direct a life you never take time to think about. Writing your thoughts down can be even more powerful. A journal isn't a diary, it's a tool. It helps you unload clutter from your mind and focus on what truly matters. Write your intentions, your gratitude, your goals. When you put your thoughts on paper, they stop being clouds of confusion and become clear commitments. That's how clarity is built, word by word, thought by thought. Gratitude is also a vital part of reflection. Before you plan your day, take a moment to recognize what's already good. Gratitude doesn't make you soft, it makes you strong. It shifts your focus from what's missing to what's possible. It reminds you that you already have enough to move forward. You just need to use it wisely. Then visualize your day. See yourself handling challenges with calm confidence. See yourself speaking with patience, working with focus, staying steady no matter what comes. That mental rehearsal programs your mind for success. It's like training your brain before the game begins. Most people wake up and immediately go into reaction mode, rushing, checking, comparing, worrying. They start their day in chaos and then spend the rest of it trying to find peace. But reflection reverses that. You start with peace and carry it through the chaos. It doesn't matter how noisy the world gets later, because your direction was set in silence. Your morning reflection doesn't have to be long. It just has to be honest. Even 5 minutes of stillness can give you more control than hours of reacting. That quiet moment becomes your anchor. It reminds you who you are, what matters, and what you refuse to waste another day on. So tomorrow morning, before the world wakes up, give yourself that time. Sit in silence. Think, write, feel. Let your reflection guide your action. Because if you don't take a few minutes to direct your life each morning, life will start directing you, and that's how people drift. Reflection is how you stay on course. It's how you turn each morning into a moment of power, purpose, and progress. Number 12. Win the day before the world wakes up. The difference between average people and achievers is simple. Achievers win their day before most people even start theirs. They understand that the early hours are where the real game is played. While the world sleeps, they build. While others hit snooze, they move. They don't wait for opportunity to appear. They create it in silence. That's what it means to win the day before the world wakes up. Winning the day doesn't mean working harder than everyone else. It means working smarter, setting the tone before the world has a chance to influence you. It means starting the day with clarity, not confusion. It means choosing focus over noise, purpose over pressure. Because once the day begins, it belongs to everyone else. Your boss, your clients, your family, your notifications. But the early morning, that's yours. It's your private time with your future. Think about what happens when you wake up early and take control. You plan your day instead of reacting to it. You move your body, strengthen your mind, feed your spirit. You start with progress instead of procrastination. And the best part is no one's there to interrupt you. No messages, no distractions, no demands, just you, your thoughts, and the work that matters most. Those hours before sunrise are quiet for a reason. That stillness isn't emptiness, it's opportunity. It's the calm that allows clarity to speak. When you use that time with intention, you build a kind of inner strength that can't be shaken by the chaos of the day. You walk into your morning meetings with calm confidence, not caffeine panic. You handle problems from a place of control, not exhaustion. You become centered, and that's what makes you unstoppable. Winning early doesn't mean doing everything, it means doing what matters. Even small actions, writing your goals, reading something valuable, spending 10 minutes in silence, or finishing your workout, create momentum that carries through the rest of the day. You don't have to conquer the world by 8:00 a.m. You just have to conquer yourself. Once you do that, everything else falls into place. And here's the secret. When you start winning your mornings, your identity shifts. You begin to see yourself differently. You no longer think like the person who needs to get motivated. You think like the person who's already in motion. You stop chasing results. You attract them through consistency. That's the beauty of early victory. It transforms who you are long before it shows in what you do. Remember, success doesn't shout. It whispers. It happens in the quiet hours when no one is watching. When you wake up early and commit to progress before the world stirs, You're not just ahead in time, you're ahead in mindset. That's how leaders are made. That's how dreams are built. So, tomorrow morning when the alarm rings and the temptation to stay in bed creeps in, remember this: the day is already waiting for someone to claim it. It will either belong to distraction or to you. Stand up, take control, and win the day before the world wakes up. Because once you do, no one can take that victory from you. Waking up early isn't just about time, it's about taking control of your life. Every morning is a test of who you are and what you value. Most people lose that test before they even get out of bed. They let comfort win. They let excuses whisper them back into mediocrity. But those who rise early with purpose and clarity play a different game. They live by design, not by default. When you decide to own your mornings, you send a powerful message to yourself and the world. I am in charge of my time. I am in charge of my energy. I am in charge of my life. That decision, repeated day after day, builds confidence, focus, and inner strength. You begin to trust yourself again. You start each day with proof that you have the power to act. And that power follows you everywhere. You'll notice something beautiful happen over time. The struggle fades. The alarm stops feeling like an enemy and starts feeling like an invitation. A call to rise, to grow, to lead. You'll look forward to the peace of the morning, the clarity of thought, the feeling of being ahead. That quiet hour will become your sanctuary, the place where you think clearly, plan wisely, and prepare to win. The truth is, life rewards those who take initiative, and there's no better way to show initiative than to rise before the world does. Those extra hours in the morning can change everything. Your health, your focus, your confidence, your success. Because when you control your morning, you control your direction, and when you control your direction, you control your destiny. So make a promise to yourself, not for a day or a week, but for life. No more rushing, no more waking up halfway through your day. Start each morning with intention. Build habits that pull you forward. Reflect, move, plan, and grow before the noise begins. Because every sunrise is a fresh start, a blank page waiting for you to write your story. Don't waste it. Wake up early. Lead yourself first. Win the day before it even begins. Let the world see what it looks like when someone stops sleeping through their potential and starts living it fully, fearlessly, and purposefully. Let's begin tomorrow morning.